What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing another video today. It's a little gloomy outside. Unfortunately, the weather today, Thursday here in Columbus, is not very good, but we're still plugging along, and today I'm going to do my predictions video for week 1 of Major 2 qualifiers. The CDL Pick'em website is live, so let's use that today and make our predictions. All right, so first off, I do have a custom leaderboard set up now for the flank, so if you are a fan of my channel, one of Zuma's subs, one of Parasite Chris's subs, just a fan of the show, make sure you grab those details on the screen right there. Register. I don't know what we're gonna do like pricing wise, but just start to get your picks in, and then I'll talk with the crew, and maybe we'll have some kind of prize for the winner. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. All right, but let's get into it with the picks. I will say for this competition, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going to put picks in for this video, but I will probably change them every single day based on how matches go. Listen, I want to win this thing, chat. So this is how it is. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna kind of blind pick all 3 days, and I kind of enjoy also this case a little bit more than Major 1, because Major 1 there were a lot of matches every single day, so we only got 3 on Friday, which is pretty lit. So first off, we have the London Royal Ravens versus Toronto Ultra. You know, nice thing about this website now is you can see fan predictions, so most of the fans have their prediction on Toronto, and you can see also the match history here. It's been pretty back and forth, honestly. This used to be like, and kind of was played up as sort of like the EU thing, but now Minnesota's got EU players, so I don't know if that really applies anymore. I think Toronto's a better team, but this is a new look London squad, so I'm curious how they do. Will Nissim keep up the form? I have a lot of questions about London, but I don't have them about Toronto. I think their team's pretty good, so I'm going to spot the London boys a map, but I'm thinking it's 3-1 out of the Toronto squad to go ahead and start things off. All right, next game on the list is Minnesota versus Boston, and it looks like most people have their prediction on Minnesota, which is interesting because I would personally probably go with Boston on that front. I don't really know what to think of this matchup. Minnesota kind of didn't really have a great LAN experience. Boston didn't really have a great LAN experience at Major 1, so I don't really have much to go on in terms of form for both these teams. I would say that, you know, for me right now, with the way that the game is currently playing, I was having a conversation last night. We were watching Challengers Elite with a bunch of pros, and they said, especially with the sound settings, this game is very much a crank up your headset situation right now, and I don't know if that necessarily favors Minnesota. I feel like Boston will probably take advantage of that. I'm going to take Boston in 3-2. I think this series will be pretty close, but I got the Boston squad opening up with a dub. And then the final match is Seattle versus Vegas, and as much as I like the Vegas squad, this one is not a great one for their online split. But, you know, weirdly enough for Vegas, they're such a good S&D team that they might actually squeak a map or two in this one, all things considered. You know what I'm going to do is I was going to give this one kind of a 3-0. I'm actually going to say 3-2 Seattle. So I think Vegas can make this interesting, but once again, I think Vegas will fall short in a game 5 against Seattle, but I think they're going to put up a good fight. All right, now we got to do the Saturday matchups. The first match on Saturday is LAG versus Florida, and this is an interesting one, a new look LAG team. Florida squad is just coming up a top 8. I think it's very much a pick'em, and that is how the rest of the people on the pick'em kind of feel as well. So how do I want to do this one? You know, Florida is not a good hardpoint team. I actually do think this LAG squad, adding Exceed and adding Joe Steves and adding Assault, I think they actually could get pretty good at a hardpoint. So I kind of like their team in there. S&D, their mode's kind of a little bit of a question mark. You know, I'm going to give the LAG squad a dub here, 3-2. Not a lot of 3-1s for me so far, 3-0s, but I think 3-2s. I feel like this one could go to distance. Florida, a little bit tricky in control. S&Ds, we know they're good. This one might come down to the wire. All right, next up we have Minnesota versus London. Interesting battle of more EU talent versus EU talent. What's weird is actually Minnesota has lost the last 3 times these two franchises have played, which is very interesting. You know, I've been on this narrative about, is Minnesota for real or not? London doesn't have a lot of expectation going into this week. I think that team is still a team in progress, but if Minnesota lose that series to Boston, this one becomes pretty large for Minnesota. Like them going down 0-2 and losing the Boston and London games kind of really screws them for the Major 2 cycle. But we need to pick at least one upset here, chat. I don't know if LAG over Florida is an upset. Maybe it is. I'm going to go, at least right now, and this might change obviously, you know, once we see the first set of matches, I'm going to go London 3-1 over Minnesota. I'm going to toss a little bit of a curveball and say the London squad is going to do this. And the other reason too, chat, now that I think about it, is ACM does not lose the matchups against his former team. So in another revenge bowl for ACM, I got him getting a dub in this one. We get to the back end of Saturday and two absolute banger matchups. I think very good chance we see these matchups throughout the season, especially in winners semifinal matches, winners finals. These are some elite teams right here. So Seattle versus FaZe, and as you see on this record of matches, they played a lot, and they played so much that this doesn't go all the way back. This is only from the last year or so. Not even actually, only goes back to July 9th. These teams have played a lot. Seattle did get the best of FaZe recently on LAN, but I think the FaZe squad is a team that's really going to benefit from this new patch. I say that, and hopefully they don't disappoint me on that. I think they're the stronger S&D team always in this matchup versus Seattle, and that's usually been the difference in how this gets decided. So I got FaZe going 3-1 over Seattle in this one. And then the last match on Saturday is New York versus LA Thieves. A bit of an interesting one. We haven't seen yet the best of LA Thieves so far this season, and for New York, they are your defending champions coming over from the victory on Major 1, and we've usually seen the event champions kind of roll the online matches. We saw it last year with OPTIC. We've seen it with Toronto going that crazy win streak after they won an event, although that was online. The only exception I can think of was like Seattle. Last year, they kind of didn't play particularly good after the Major 2 victory, but there was a big like season break in the middle of that with Pro-Am, so that one's a little bit funky. The only thing I don't like about this matchup for New York is I think Thieves is a very good S&D team. And if we kind of go back to last season, obviously so far this season it's been a little bit mixed. But I also think that Thieves is also a good respawn team. And I think that they match up well on some of the maps that New York's probably going to want to square up. And I think the problem as well for New York is they really, really don't play like Embassy at all. And Thieves are very good at Embassy, so you're going to get that off the bat, and Thieves are probably going to want to play you like on a Hydro or something like that, where I think Thieves could do pretty good hitting routes. This one's going to go the distance. It really comes to who I feel like confident in game 5s, and I'm just trying to think. I'm pretty sure that New York is flawless in game 5s so far this season, so we're going to go with them in that. I do think this Thieves will come up just short, but I like the progress from Thieves probably in this series, and I think I'm in on the Thieves rebound so far this Major. I think they can make it to Sunday and go deep at this one in Boston. All right, first up on Sunday, we have the Florida Mutineers going up against the Toronto Ultra. And unfortunately, just like people out there, I'm going to give this one to Toronto. I'm going to say it's a hot 3-0. I like Florida, but this one's not a great matchup for them. Do I spot Florida map? Nah, we got to pick at least 1-3-0 this week. I think I'm going to do that one. Big match coming up 4:30 on Saturday. Boston versus OPTIC Texas. The first look at this OPTIC Texas squad, and a lot of the pick'em is on OPTIC Texas. Almost, what does it say? 80%-ish. I think this one might be a battle, to be honest. I don't think that, that OPTIC's going to come out and just 3-0 smoke Boston. It's going to really come down to probably a gritty game 5, and honestly, I find that the OPTIC team probably is a little bit more icier in that situation than Boston is. I just don't really know what maps OPTIC is good or bad at this point with their new roster. They've shuffled on the roles. It's just going to be hard for me to pick historicals on this. But I think OPTIC, or if they can close out S&D, like I think we saw at Major 1, like I know Florida's sort of their bane and has been their bane for like a while now. This OPTIC team can win matches. Just got to close them out. And then we get to a battle of LA to close things out. On Sunday, LA Thieves versus LAG, and unfortunately for the LAG boys, I do think they are going to fall short in this one. I'm pretty sure, the pick'ems are going to agree now. Historically, weirdly enough, LAG has actually won all the times this matchup has happened, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But I do think this time around with the new look LAG team, they're both playing from LA. I just think Thieves is the better team, but LAG team could be not that bad in hardpoint, and we've seen Thieves kind of struggle at times with slaying in that game mode. So I'm going to spot LAG one map. I'm going to spot them like the first map in the series, but I think Thieves get it done. So yeah, Chad, those are your pick'ems. I'm sure I'll change Saturday and Sunday before it locks, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong. I'm sure there'll be upsets, and I will be wrong on a few of these, but should be an interesting week. If my predictions hold, Minnesota going 0-2, definitely an interesting talking point. Boston 1-1, Florida in trouble. LAG 1-1 would be a good result for them. Yeah, this would be kind of a very mixy result if things went down by predictions, but obviously that never happens. We never nail all 10 picks in a given weekend, but we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of my predictions. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys on the next one.